Good Saturday morning. Yeah, it's still morning, everybody. I am out here and I am finally gonna handle all of my garlic that I grew this year. I have had it drying for like a month, and honestly, I probably should have taken care of it a couple weeks ago, but we've been busy and I'm finally getting around to it. So what I'm gonna do is, don't mind Calvin's pool and his sprinkler and his ball because he's the most spoiled dog around. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean it all off, take all the stems and the roots off, and I'm gonna bring it in, and we're gonna make garlic powder today, I think. I have not purchased garlic powder in 2 years maybe, because my garden grows it for me and I think it's better than what you can buy at the store. So yeah, I'm gonna clean all this off and bring it in, and then I'll show you my next step. So let's get to it. Also, it wouldn't be my video unless I showed you all Calvin, because he is always by my side, no matter what I'm doing, right? Yeah? Am I talking about you? Do I love you? Yeah? You the best? You the best boy? You the best Calvin that ever was? Okay. Anyway. He's so cute. Okay. Anyway. Let's get to all of that. Okay. Calvin, stop. So what I'm gonna do is just take all of this. Calvin. I wasn't lying when I said Calvin is always by my side. And I'm gonna cut the stems off. And Calvin just ate that. Kind of peel off the outer layer. What I have done in the past is just preserve it like this. But I won't lie. I feel like I'm gonna do that. Just looks like that. I might keep a couple fresh bulbs, but I won't lie to you all, and I will truthfully say that a lot of times when I just store garlic like this in the basement, it goes bad. Usually the garlic will last around 6 to 8 months, and I just don't find myself, stop it, I don't find myself using it enough. So what I'm gonna do, I think, this year is I might keep like 4 or 5 bulbs. Calvin! I'm sorry, he's stealing things. I might keep like 4 or 5 or 6 bulbs like this down in the basement, but what I'm gonna do is eventually I'll peel all of this and then I'll process it, like I'll chop it up really finely with my processor, and then I'll dehydrate it, and I think the majority of it I will keep as like chunked up garlic, dried, and then the rest of it I will turn into a powder, and then as I need the powder I can just I can just grind up the dehydrated chunks that I have into powder. I think that's what I'm gonna do this year. Yeah, that makes the most sense. And I do think I'm gonna keep like 4 or 5 bulbs. Like this guy is huge. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's a giant bulb of garlic. I think I might keep these for like October and replant these. That's my plan. Anyway, I'll stop rambling, and I need to get to this because it is already 90 something degrees out here and it's like 10 a.m. and I'm sweating. it's like an hour later. This ended up being, this is pretty much all of the garlic I grew this year. There's a couple cloves, I guess bulbs, I left outside because I'm gonna plant them in October to use as next year. Use for next year, whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Anyway, yeah, so this is pretty much all of it. And like I said, I'm gonna dehydrate all of this instead of running the risk of any of it going bad. So the next thing I have to do is basically peel all of it, and I'm gonna try a trick that I saw and hopefully it works. So let's try it out. Okay, so the first thing that the guy said to do was to take it and smash it. It doesn't really seem like it's gonna work out so well. Okay, so the smashing it did not work, but I'm just peeling cloves off. This is also gonna take forever, but I have to keep telling myself that I won't have to buy garlic powder and I won't have to do this again for another year. So we're just gonna try it with these cloves, and we'll do that in a minute. I have this large bowl with a lid, and I'm going to put it all in here. Yeah, I think that's all of it. And then cover it and shake it for like 20 seconds. See if it worked. No, that didn't work at all. That did nothing. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should try again. I don't know. Let me try it again off camera. Okay, so the conclusion is shaking it does not work. I also tried the knife technique where you shove it in the bottom like this, and you like twist, and it's supposed to like just pop out, but like that also doesn't really work for me. It does a little, but not the best. This is how much garlic I have so far peeled. I remember last year having to do this also, like hand peeling all of it, and if I'm doing this wrong, please let me know. But the shaking absolutely didn't work. The knife thing kind of works. I don't know if it's like fresh garlic from the garden is the problem, because it just breaks. It's really soft. Anyway, I'm gonna spend the next couple hours just taking the skins off, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, after watching a couple videos on YouTube, I have realized that you can just put them all in here, even if there's paper on it. It's okay, because I'm going to dehydrate it, and I'm going to turn it into a powder. So even the paper is going to just get turned into a powder, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, I've done this a couple times. This is what it looks like. I've peeled a lot of it, but then some of it I didn't peel, and like I said, it's just going to get turned into a powder. So you're never going to know that the skins were on it in the first place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this process go faster, and I'm going to food process all of my cloves, and I'll show you how I do that once I get some more cloves in here. All right, I'm just going to pulse it. And that's it. Then I'm going to put it on here. Just like this. And if you really, really, really don't want the skins in your garlic powder, then by all means, peel it. But I have a ton of garlic that I need to get through, and I will be here all day and night if I have to peel all of it. So this is just the absolute easiest way for me to do this. And by the way, I mean, I did take off all the dirty skins. These were the clean skins underneath. So I'm just going to spread it out onto this tray and keep doing that for all 5 of my trays until I fill it up. Okay, I have 5 trays. That is all I have in me today. My fingers hurt from like peeling all of the garlic and breaking it all up. So I have my 5 trays, and let me plug it in. Hang on. Okay, I plugged it in. I have this just going in my dining room floor because I don't want it to take up counter space, and it's kind of close to our air purifier, and this stuff, like, it stinks. I love garlic, but it kind of stinks when it gets going. It kind of like burns your eyes. Anyway, for temperature, if you read online, it says 125. I personally like doing it 110 because I think the flavor is just better. And I'm gonna let this run all night. It's 2:30, 2:45 right now. So I'm just gonna let it go basically all night, and maybe before I go to bed tonight, I will update you and show you what it looks like. So anyway, we're gonna let it go. So it's been 7 hours-ish. Like I said, I'm just gonna let it go overnight. Calvin is literally right here. And if I pull it out, I did put it on a little thick, so it's still pretty mushy, which is why I'm gonna let it go overnight. I may even let it go some tomorrow, because it's still pretty mushy, but there are pieces that are pretty dry. So that's what it looks like, and I'll see you in the morning. So I let these go all night, and they're definitely crispy now. I did turn the dehydrator off like 30 minutes ago to let everything cool down, but it's definitely crispy. It's definitely finished dehydrating. There's no moisture. It's a little sticky, but that's normal. But yeah, it's definitely crispy. And I have been processing it into powder, and you really can't tell that I left the skins on. So this is awesome. So basically the next thing you do after you take it out is you put it in. I use this coffee grinder that I have specifically for grinding anything that I grow or whatever. We don't use this for coffee. And I just put it in here. This is a little time consuming, but it's not as time consuming as peeling the garlic. So that's probably good. And then I just pulse it. I don't just slam it down, I just pulse it. And you can basically grind it to whatever texture you want. This is just 1 sheet's worth of garlic. So I'm gonna have a ton of garlic powder, definitely a year's worth. And another thing is, when you take the lid off of this, don't just breathe in all of that garlic dust, because it's not a pleasant time if you do. This is what it looks like. And then I just take it, dump it in, and I keep doing that until it's all finished. And I'm really not sure how much I'm gonna make into a powder and how much I'm gonna leave like this, because it's a lot easier to store it like this than a powder, because more moisture can get into it and cause it to clump and essentially just ruin it. So I don't want to make a whole bunch of powder and then have it go bad. So I might just kind of lightly process my other 3 trays and put it as just kind of like minced garlic. And then when I run out of powder, I'll just process my minced garlic into powder. So that's what we do. All right, this is 2 trays worth of garlic, and this is a clean ball jar, so I'm just gonna scoop it in. I could use a funnel, but I don't want to. I can't believe this is only 2 trays worth of garlic, and I still have 3 more trays to do, but I'm just gonna crunch up, I'm not gonna make it into a powder. I actually might crunch up a little bit more so I can make it a little more full, because I don't want this much air in this jar. I mean, I guess I could put it in a pint jar, but I'm running out of those because of canning. So I'll just crunch up some more garlic powder. Just in case you guys wanted to see what Calvin looked like when we first got him. That was the day we got Calvin. And that was also when he was a puppy. But that was the day we got Calvin. Okay, finished up grinding up one more tray. And I'm just gonna scoop it in. That way there's less air that gets to this powder. There. That looks really good. If you have anything in a really big jar that's like down here, you definitely want to put it in a smaller jar because you don't want this much air getting to it. But since there's less air than what's in my jar, this jar is perfect. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep this on my counter for like a week, and every single day I'm just going to kind of shake it and look for clumps, see if anything is like really sticking at the bottom. And if it is, like if it looks like there's some clumps, if it looks like things are really sticking and you don't see any mold, you can just put it right back in the dehydrator and dehydrate it some more and then put it back in the jar. But if you see any bit of mold, you have to throw all of it out because the mold spores are all over the jar. And so you basically have lost everything that you dehydrated. So I'll just keep this out on my counter. I'll shake it around, look for large clumps, see if anything's really sticking to the bottom, and then it'll be ready to store for the next year.